In this video, I would like to discuss what happened to the rule on motions to dismiss after the 2019 amendments to the Rules of Court took effect. We know that there have been major amendments to the Rules of Court by virtue of the 2019 amendments, which took effect on May 1, 2020. And one of these is the provision on motion to dismiss. That is Rule 16 of the Rules of Court. If we now look at Rule 16 of the Rules of Court, ito yung makikita natin. The provisions were either deleted or transposed. So let us take a look at the former rule first so that we will remember the rules. So there used to be 10 grounds for motions to dismiss before the 2019 amendments. Okay? So yung grounds na to, number 1, the court lacks jurisdiction over the person of the defending party. Next, we have the court lacks jurisdiction over the subject matter of the action. Number 3, the venue is improperly laid. Number 4, the plaintiff has no legal capacity to sue. Number 5, there is another action pending between the same parties for the same cause, also known as litis pendentia. Number 6, the cause of action is barred by prior judgment, also known as res judicata. And then the other ground is statute of limitations, also known as prescription. Number 7, the pleading asserting the claim states no cause of action. Number 8, the claim or demand set forth in the plaintiff's pleading has been paid, waived, abandoned, or otherwise extinguished. Number 9, the claim on which the action is founded is unenforceable under the statute of frauds. And number 10, a condition precedent for filing the claim has not been complied with. Alright, so these are 10 grounds. Sa 10 grounds na to, 4 can be the basis of a motion that can be filed anytime, even before the amendments. Okay? This is important kasi yung rule has remained the same under the 2019 amendments. At yung subject, yung grounds na to ay 4. And I'll call these the big 4. So, the court has no subject matter jurisdiction over the case. Number 2, res judicata. Number 3, litis pendentia. And number 4, prescription. Etong big 4 na to, ibig sabihin, under the old rules, okay, you can file this anytime. Pero this based etong 4. But the other grounds, the 6 grounds, improper venue, lack of jurisdiction over the person with the defendant, and so on and so forth, those can be filed only before an answer is filed in a motion to dismiss. Ngayon, as a general rule, hindi na pwedeng mag-file ng motion to dismiss. The only exception is when the motion to dismiss is based on any of these 4 grounds. Okay? Tignan natin yung sinasabi ng Rule 9, Section 1. Ito, dito makikita yung 4 na grounds, no? When it appears from the pleadings or evidence on record that the court has no jurisdiction over the subject matter. So that's the first ground. The second, there's another action pending between the same parties for the same cause. Ayan yung litis pendentia. The third, the action is barred by prior judgment. Okay, that's res judicata. And the fourth, by statute of limitations. That's prescription. And it says here, the court shall dismiss the claim. So, ito ang sinasabi dito, dismissal by the court shall be motu proprio. Okay? As long as it appears from the pleadings or evidence on record that any of these grounds are present. Pero sa akin lang, instead of a motu proprio dismissal, what of the defending party files a motion based on any of these grounds? Well, that should also be allowed because you can raise these grounds anytime. In fact, tignan natin yung next rule, Rule 15, Section 12. Dito nakalagay, this is a rule that talks about prohibited motions, and a motion to dismiss is prohibited except on the following grounds. So, nandito na naman yung 4 na grounds, no? So, the first talks about lack of jurisdiction over the subject matter. Number 2, another action pending between the same parties for the same cause, litis pendentia. And number 3 talks about 2 grounds, bar by prior judgment or res judicata, and the last one is statute of limitations or prescription. So, eto lang yung mga 4 na grounds kung saan pwedeng mag-file ng motion to dismiss. Alright? Now, Those four grounds, which I call the big four, can also be raised as affirmative defenses actually. Kasi pag binasa mo yung Rule 6, Section 5, affirmative defenses may also include the grounds for the dismissal of a complaint. At nakabanggit na naman yan. Lack of jurisdiction over the subject matter, and then you have another action pending between the same parties for the same cause, and the other one is bar by prior judgment. Okay. Now, why? Why is it that there is an exception for these four grounds? O isa-isahin natin ha. Yung lack of jurisdiction over the subject matter. Alam natin that only a court that has jurisdiction over the subject matter can validly render a decision. Otherwise, the decision will be null and void no matter how long it took for the court to decide. Kahit umabot pa yan sa appeal, kahit tumagal, bumalik, or nagkaroon ng motion for reconsideration, pag walang subject matter jurisdiction ng court, then the decision is null and void. Doon naman tayo sa res judicata. Well, the case has already been decided. That's what it really means. So you cannot file a case when a case has already been decided. Besides, it's a violation of the prohibition against forum shopping. So it should only be dismissed. And the same is true for litis pendentia. There is another case already that is pending. So why will you file another case when there's a pending case? It's again a violation of the rule against forum shopping. So all the more it should be dismissed. And the last one is prescription. Alam natin that there is a lifetime for bringing cases. Outside of this, a claim cannot prosper. So for example, an action upon a contract, the prescriptive period is 10 years. If the case is filed after 10 years, then the case should properly be dismissed. And no matter how long a case is litigated, if there's no more ground for bringing the same because of prescription, baliwala yung magiging decision. Okay? Now, earlier I said that of the 10 grounds, 4 grounds are the big 4 and can still remain as grounds for motions to dismiss or be raised as affirmative defenses. What about the 6 other grounds? Well, they can be raised as affirmative defenses. And that is explicitly stated in the amendments. Okay, so the remaining 6 grounds are now affirmative defenses under Rule 11, Section 12A, and Rule 6, Section 5B. Okay? So, ano yung mga grounds na to? The court has no jurisdiction over the person of the defending party. Okay? So, ito, you have to make a distinction. Pag lack of jurisdiction over the subject matter, that is one of the big 4. That can be the basis of a motion to dismiss. Pero if your assertion of lack of jurisdiction is over the person of the defending party, the defendant, for example, improper service of summons, raise it as an affirmative defense, but not as a motion to dismiss. Then the next ground is the venue is improperly laid. Next is plaintiff has no legal capacity to sue. Next is plaintiff states, the pleading rather, states no cause of action. Number 5, a condition precedent has not been complied with. And last is because of the statute of frauds. Okay? So, I hope that this will help you understand what happened to the rules for a motion to dismiss. Hindi talaga nawala yung grounds for motion to dismiss, naging na-transfer lang siya, and then yung 4 grounds remain to be grounds for motion to dismiss, but the 6 grounds are no longer grounds for motion to dismiss pero grounds for affirmative defenses. I will be making another video to explain the meaning of affirmative defenses. So that's all for now, and I will be seeing you next time.